Previously on Around the Mat.
Our next match is Saulo Ribeiro versus Rodrigo Medeiros. Let's go ahead and go with our recap. Presented by Open Mat Radio's Paul Moran.
It was the only gi match of the night. Drops Sanagi, scrambles, waiter sweep. Neither of them got to finish from their best spots. Old school jiu-jitsu.
More of a slower pace fight.
I just tuned out. I went to get an ice cream. I have never in my life seen an exciting match of anybody over the age of 35.
That's not even old.
Both guys under 40.
No way.
I mean, I'm not checking IDs.
Maybe the match should have been 10 minutes.
If I didn't know what jiu-jitsu was and I knew who Chael Sonnen was and I bought this, I probably would have thrown my computer by the end of the fight.
I do have a way to fix things, though. Anytime you can make things more like Double Dare, I think you're going to be fit for TV.
Choose your destiny.
All right, we're moving on to our next match, which is Dean Lister versus Josh Barnett. And here to narrate that one is me.
It's a secret narration.
It is a secret narration.
Let's
You guys
just,
know.
let's just say before this that this is an interpretation from a white belt of two black belts. Go.
All right, and here we go. Josh Barnett walks to the mat draped in a large black robe, truly embracing his Japan Pro Wrestling roots. When we get to the mat, Josh describes an outfit that can only be a nod to Dan Severn, which is just rocking a Speedo. No, cut, we're good. Put him back on. We're good. The crowd gasps at the appearance of what Kenny Florian refers to as a muffin top. He walks out like a normal person. Jeff Glover reminds us it's been 16 years since he's been submitted. The tail of the tape reveals Barnett's got 35 pounds on Dean. Dean goes for a pull to butterfly guard, while Josh Barnett wants none of it and begins his quest to pass the guard. When Dean is going for an underhook at the 3-minute mark, Josh easily slides into side control, and we're here for a while. A long while, actually. Hey, Kev, ask me what Dean Lister's favorite song is right now.
Raph, what's Dean Lister's favorite song right now?
Under Pressure by David Bowie and Queen. Because holy shit, Josh applies the amount of pressure that would kill a mere mortal. 9 minutes in, Dean scrambles up to get, and Josh is just right on top of him, forcing Dean to stay in turtle for a little longer than he'd like. Josh pulls Dean back into a cradle and works to reestablish side control, and it looks heavy until Dean utters, "Nah, it's cool. I'm okay." Everyone's nurse nightmare happens as not a Kimura attempt, but Josh Barnett gets north-south, and as Josh threatens a Kimura, Dean manages to survive. We learn Dean's nose is busted as he goes to grab a leg and gets flattened back out for his efforts. So this plays out for a little while. Side control, turtle, north-south, and a shin across the face, which looks ugly. Dean makes some more attempts to get back up, and Josh says, "No, thank you." We're at three-quarter Nelson, Darce moving forward, and Josh is looking for extra points as he goes for a scarf hold, and holy shit, are you fucking kidding me? Did he just make Dean Lister tap out with 15 seconds to go? Even the ref tells Josh that was some good pressure, man. With Kenny Florian after the match, Josh compliments Dean, and then Hollick walks up, says how surprised he was by the whole ordeal, and seems to be missing a championship belt to hand his new heavyweight champion. Then, just to make things interesting, he puts him on the spot and says, "Hey, cool, so, you want to come back or something? Would that be something you're interested in?" Josh plays up to the crowd and walks out. Paul, my question to you, where is the championship belt?
I have no idea where it is, and I also don't know what made this any more of a match than any other one on the card. Do you also remember that for a while, like, Kron was supposed to fight for the Metamoris title, but then quickly went to MMA or something? So I'm not sure what Metamoris titles, how they substantiate themselves from just a regular Metamoris win.
Were you disappointed there was no belt, Kevin?
Not only am I super pissed there was no belt, because there should fucking be a belt whenever you win a goddamn championship, I'm super pissed no one even formally announced it. No one was like, hey, they were so sure Dean Lister was going to win that match, as they made clear. I'm not speculating. That's straight from Alec's goddamn mouth. He walked up, and isn't it like, it's not like, congratulations, and introducing the new heavyweight belt holder, well, not belt, obviously, introducing the new heavyweight champion of Metamoris, Josh Barnett. No one did a fucking thing. They just sat there looking surprised. I bet they did need to ask him back with everyone watching, because no way he's gonna fucking say yes to you ass clowns. You don't even have, like, a rose? I don't know. A belt you bought at fucking Express that you tapped a goddamn medallion to?
Relax.
It's
Kev,
assholery.
Kev.
Like, surely you knew someone was going to win the match, right?
Hey, they can't even announce the end of the match. Poor Chris Howder's trying to figure out when to end half the matches. They're not going to announce who wins the belt.
Kevin, you're talking about how Hollick was surprised about the result. Some other person on our panel who might have been responding a little surprised to the result may have been Christian, who, I'm sorry, what was the quote?
I think the only way Dean would lose is if he fell walking into the ring.
My question to you, Christian, how do you feel?
Yeah, I've got a specific thought pertaining to this. I was shocked to see Dean like literally not be able to do much of anything. I think he touched Josh's leg once when it was awkwardly on his face, but that was about it. I mean, Josh like really put on a good show, man. He went out there and he just completely dominated, controlled Dean, and Dean looked very tiny, and Dean just couldn't do a single thing, and I was amazed. I literally thought that it was like, probably the highlight of Dean's career to be able to go out there, not being submitted in 16 or 17 years. I don't know which one it was because they used it back and forth, but he did nothing. He did absolutely nothing and just got ripped apart, and it was awesome. And he handled it really well. I would have cried.
Can I ask you, Lex, where did it all go wrong for Dean?
Well, first of all, let me ignore your question and answer my own. I would like to toast my friend Kevin because, you know, every generation there comes a visionary. And, you know, the 20th century had Albert Einstein, and the 21st century is shared by Kevin and I for predicting that Barnett would win this match.
The two of us saw something no one else saw. It was easy for Lex and I. Lex and I both said, "Oh, Josh Barnett's going to win."
Hold on. Let me stop here real quick. Kevin, how did you guess the Kit Dale match to go again?
I don't think that's relevant.
All right, that is actually relevant. It's called selecting the right choices.
Just to put in there, he said that Vinny was going to win by flying triangle as well. So
I was guessing, Christian.
Lex, answer my goddamn question because you don't get to make your own. So, where did it all go wrong for Dean?
I think the kind of Dean that showed up was the one that was not very interested in submitting his opponent and aggressively attacking his opponent.
He wasn't trying for submissions, or was it just that he got overwhelmed?
Yeah, I think the weight difference mattered. I don't know what. He got worn down. And obviously this showed that the superior martial art, and despite what we all think, is catch wrestling. So I will now retire my pajamas that I've been silly enough to wear for years now, and I will be wearing a fine-looking black cloth that covers my groin and nothing
This
else.
was actually a question that happened at my viewing party. They asked me, does that Russian guy actually have that outfit? I said, probably.
Yes. That is all I wear. That is Russian lingerie is what we call it. That's what our women wear.
This was a question that I saw get put up somewhere, and I'm going to ask this over to Kevin. Kevin, do you think that people are just going to start doing catch wrestling now that the craze is beating Dean Lister with it?
Nope. I don't think this is going to change anything. I think, obviously, Dean Lister, first of all, you give him 20 more minutes. I don't think that fight goes the same way. I think Dean Lister wins the next 4 out of 5 matches between these two, even with the weight difference. I think he was surprised by how much it had an impact.
I will ask this over to Paul. You know, one thing that did get brought up, and this is something I contend, is that most people would say that looked like an easy position to get out of. Why was that position so difficult for Dean?
Because that position, if you do it right, fucking sucks. My coach Sergio Pena calls it 100 kilos and has submitted many people with it. If you're doing it right, it creates a tremendous amount of pressure. I think some people are trying to say that it was a diaphragm choke, which I've never heard that called, to that position before. But I know that that's kind of going around the old internets and the instructional scene. But yeah, I gotta say that the person that I'm really worried for more than anything is the next poor bastard that has to step on the mat with Dean Lister and unleash the wrath that is Dean's potential. But again, like everyone else is echoing, I think that the size difference made a huge factor in this. Dean, I don't think gets to train with guys nearly as big as Josh, and if he does, they're not as skilled as Josh. So not to backpedal on this, but Josh is a big freaking dude that knows how to grapple, and I don't think Dean had ever come up against someone as heavy with that same level of skill. So take that for what it's worth.
Lex, there is talk of defense and who Josh Barnett should be defending against. Who would you like to see him defend against?
I would love to see him face somebody else who practices the violent quote-unquote art, Somebody. I mean, I can't really think off the top of my head. Somebody maybe.
You can't think of a second person that does catch wrestling? So popular, and you can't think of
Okay.
a second person?
I'm going to use this opportunity, by the way, to say that I'm actually the North American catch wrestling champion, which I got the belt for last year in August.
Did they give you an actual belt?
Sorry, the medal. There's a medal. There's no belt.
That's still more than Josh Barnett got.
Still more than Josh Barnett got. Still more than Metamoris had prepared. Yeah.
Excellent setup and execution, Paul.
But you can ask that same question to somebody who has a better answer in terms of who's a good guy to face
I'm
Barnett.
going to take some names since Lex was incapable of it. Anybody interested in seeing Josh Barnett versus Buchecha?
No.
Yeah.
He was in the front row, and that's what I think Halleck was alluding to.
I think that is the case here too, but I want to stick on that no. Why no, Christian?
I have an inclination, and I have no idea why. Just putting it out there. Since Gary's obviously coach was there last night, Tom, and Tom was making some gestures on like Instagram. I was like seeing one of his photos that he was going to be fighting the next Metamoris. I have a feeling that maybe Barnett will be fighting him for the belt, which would be nice. But I mean, if not, I mean, I think the next time we see Buchecha is going to be versus Rogers, so it's definitely not going to be Buchecha.
Okay, saving him for Hodger. That's fine.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
I'll
think
take
Hodger
that.
jumps
Or
back
Gabby.
in. Well, I think he's signed to like ONE FC or some other MMA
Yeah,
organization. But I'm sure if he wanted to, he could headline Metamoris by calling his cousins and just saying, "Hey, this is what's going to happen. Try to stop me." But I think that would make an excellent hype up between Jiu-Jitsu versus catch wrestling, even though each has kind of trained a little bit of the other. But I'd love to see Hodger versus Josh. I think that's a sick match.
We're also leaving a few names out. Cyborg, Gabby Garcia. I'm just naming people in his weight class. Why can't
Gabby-
they fight Josh
Gabby would be the
Barnett?
best person to fight Josh, for sure. hands down.
Cyborg's not losing that match.
Both
Cyborg's
Mendez
not losing
brothers.
that match.
Same
Both
person.
Mendez
Mendez
brothers.
brothers. They both weigh what? No way they weigh more than Josh Barnett does total.
No,
Boom. This is easy.
that's it. Done.
That's amazing.
This is it.
Oh.
Solved. Problem solved. Next match.
Guys, can you believe it? Our time here is almost coming to an end. I know. I'm gonna miss each of you individually, but not equally. I don't care for some of you. I'm just kidding. We're glad you guys have been watching these videos, and we can't wait to show you our last one. So by now, you know the deal. If you like your exclusive footage from Metamoris 4, then be sure to check back here at YouTube/VerbalTapCast for unseen footage from the other matches. We'll come back in a couple days, and we're gonna have our last video from Metamoris 4, which is Andre Galvao versus Chael Sonnen. You're not gonna want to miss it, you guys. Until then, yo homes to Bel Air!